An evening in the life of Beach Street. It's about that time, everyone's arriving home from work. Driveways are filling up with cars. People rustling about, settling in. Well, not so much on this side of the street. About to begin their evening routines. Look at that beautiful sun. Anyway, for me right now, this 5 p.m. walk is a time to be enjoyed, to take advantage of the warm days that still remain. This beautiful park near my house has this nice little dense stretch of kind of low-lying trees, but with many passageways in between. I've really never found this forest to be so much good for foraging things, but it's really beautiful and nice to walk through. I'm sure there's lots of little treasures in here that I don't know about. Anyways, it's a shortcut through to the bigger more urbanized park with baseball diamonds and the children's playground, which I'm going to go to later and use as a jungle gym for myself, because that kind of physical, rigorous, dynamic movement for muscles is so much more fun and beneficial, in my view, kind of movements for the body. So I'm going to do that later. First, a little walk to the winery. Not because I like wine, but because I need a tool that they have there. So I want to point out that when you're about on walks, you should really walk along fences, especially fences that close off a park area from an isolated area where there's lots of natural foliage growing and trees, because along the fences is where a lot of edibles and nutritive plants grow. And so what I would do is not harvest necessarily on this side where animals might pee and that might possibly be treated by city people. I would hop over the fence and go on the other side and scout a little further in or closer to here and see what's about. Usually some good dandelion that you can pick up. There's some right there. I don't know if I can capture it. It's alright. There's also something here that I really want to check out today, and that's this. It's goldenrod, and it's flowering. So this, some people mistake this a lot for ragweed, but it is not, because the pollen on the goldenrod is very heavy and it wouldn't get airborne, so you really have to like get onto it and touch it to get any of that pollen on you, and even then you probably wouldn't have an allergic reaction to this. But I really wanted to harvest a little bit of these flowers and small leaves, because there's a couple different things I wanted to try with them. Goldenrod seems to have a lot of medicinal effects that are just all over the place, from having astringent properties for tissue that needs to tighten up, to having antimicrobial properties to be able to help balance gut bacteria and microbiology. And you know, it's such an interesting little dynamic, because like, see the little bug that's right there? I don't know what kind of bug it is, but I see them a lot. It's like all the little insects and creatures that come onto the plants spread microorganisms to the plants from plant to plant. They help pollinate the plants for sure. This is like another bug. These ones are the cucumber beetles, or whatever, it's not their proper name, but these guys destroyed some of my cucumber plants. Little bastards. In any case, all the microbiology that they spread onto the plant would then get into me after I dehydrate it and turn it and then make tea with it, or even use it fresh. So for sure, when I would harvest this, I would manually go through and flick off everything that's visible, but I wouldn't leave it. Kind of interesting to watch. I guess my point is that we're not going to go crazy trying to get everything off the plants and sterilize them and just dump them into alcohol. Like, I think some of that natural microbiology needs to get into us, because if we didn't have the sheltered homes that we do, we'd be exposed to this stuff a lot more because we would be in nature, even if we had some kind of, contained living enclosure. And so that means that our bodies would be much more accustomed to our environment, because we share a lot more of the same DNA, because the microorganisms would be the same or similar in the environment as well as within us. So, that really speaks a lot to the emerging science of the microbiome and how the microorganisms, the microfauna, the flora inside our digestive tracts really are highly determinant factors in our overall health, because they're the things, or some of the things, that contribute to the changing of our gene expression, whether that be something turning on or turning off. So like the way you would get certain diseases would be that you'd get that gene turned on for it by your environmental exposure. Now I want to point this out here, because this is where I harvested my wild black blueberry to transplant into my backyard. And this guy, I found him growing here behind this fence, and a few months back he was always producing lots of wild black raspberries, and so I'd come here and I'd harvest them. And I'm glad I got one of these guys going crazy on my fence at home, because next year I should have a nice harvest. So yeah, always check the stuff growing along fences and learn what's edible or medicinal so that you can use it and harvest it. Now these ones, I've seen a lot. The little bushels of red berries. So this is one berry I've been meaning to identify, and I haven't yet. I'm sure that some of you watching probably know what it is. You could let me know in the comments. But look at all the stuff growing here. Burdock, garlic, mustard, and other stuff I don't even know. Plantain. It's just so much. It's a beautiful scene, but the city traffic and smog, I can tell you, I don't spend a lot of time walking crowded streets. So I find that when I do come out here and I get this exposure, it really hurts my lungs a lot. And I can see why people living in the cities would really need to take on a lot of more detoxing protocols, because they have a lot more residues in their lung tissue that they need to, shed off. In any case, yeah, busy streets. So this is the winery store that I'm coming to get supplies, and next to it is the water store. And this is a good option for people in the city who don't have any other means of getting clean water. It's coming to a place like this and getting reverse osmosis water. You have your own bottles, put it in here, put in your coins, you get fresh reverse osmosis water that you can use for clean, purified water if you have no other option. See, I haven't walked through this side here before either, and I see another fence, which means another area to check out. And when I see bushy things, especially growing all over a fence, that is usually where I want to go look and see what interesting finds we have, if any. Don't recognize these so far, nor do they seem to be producing anything edible, except for this berry. It grows on a red stem. Leaves, there are two, also triations, but it's jaggedy edge. And yeah, the stems are round and red, and it's like a blue, dark blue berry that it produces, very round. I'd be interested to know what this is, because I'd imagine it would taste very tart, but I don't know how toxic it could be, so I don't want to, even though I'm usually kind of stupidly daring sometimes like that, and I might just, eat this, I'm not going to risk it today. And yeah, so it's growing and spreading along the fence. Don't know what this little tree is either. It's going on the fringes of where you live that you see all the interesting things, like where you can connect to nature more. Walking on concrete is just so disconnecting. That's something that you feel when you become more aware of subtle energies. This is the late summer, early autumn dandelion look-alike. I never did identify what the name of this one was, but I'm actually really curious to try it. I think I remember I've had it once before and it tasted like a bitter version of dandelion, like dandelion leaf. But I'm gonna try these. So you can tell it's already pretty late into this season because the stem ends are almost formed into seeds. So I'm just going to pluck that off a little bit. So I just bit into it, got a taste, and it actually tastes smooth. So I'm going to put this all in my mouth and chew it like gum and allow my saliva to extract whatever my body needs from here. This, I feel, is like urban art because somebody fixed an office chair neatly into the branch of this tree overlooking the creek. This isn't a public statement for like needing to bring more nature into your work life. I don't know what it is. Now here under the bridge there is a lot of yellow flowers that actually look a little bit like calendulas, but definitely not calendula. There's quite a lot of them growing here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 or so petals. I don't know if that matters. But the leaf is long, pointed, smooth edge, and an open flower buds. So yeah, anyone know what this one is? This is a beautiful spider's web. And there's our friend. And here also there is something else that's kind of shrubby. And it's growing these pink flowers. This is them before they opened. Kind of looks like goji berries almost. And yeah, they turn into these pink, beautiful little flowers that are probably toxic as well. I'm suddenly feeling annoyed because seeing all this fencing literally block off the natural world from the man-made, keep yourself busy world. It's just like, I feel motivated to go down to City Hall and say to the mayor, whoever is in charge of these things, to set an order for there to be gates set up along the fences so that people can be having more access and opportunity to go explore the wild. And people need to be allowed this access. So it needs to be made readily available. So I decided to cross over to the other side because I saw a decent little patch of goldenrod that's here in an accessible spot. Kind of accessible. I have to go through underneath here and make my way. Make the path for the future. Wow, I'm getting covered by like everything. So here it is. I'm gonna pick some. These ones look like a little bit younger shoots. And I'm gonna take some home and play with them. The angle, maybe not the best, but this is the area that I wanted to play in with the rings. That was fun. So I was just thinking about how walking outside in the city parts that are dense with so many cars and that smog, like that residue just sits on your skin. And I could see that being a good reason for showering on a regular basis. But because I was spending so much time away from that kind of pollution and being the best areas that I can be, I've noticed that there's a decreased need to feel to shower. I was showering once a week for a while, and now it's been like 2.5 weeks probably since I took a shower. So I've been experimenting with this just to see what does the body do? How does the body adapt? Because we have this idea that we're just always shedding and, things from our body, and that we need to get it off. But what if our body has the ability to take care of that itself? Namely, the microbes living on your skin that need to consume the residues that are excreted by your body and picked up by the environment, and then those, whatever they exude in the same way that the same gut microbes in your gut, their poop is essentially like B vitamins and helpful fatty acids. The same thing could be happening on our skin, right? So we don't need to shower as often, and what they naturally excrete is going to be protective to our skin and nourish the cells of the skin. So that's a theory that I'm kind of extrapolating based on what I know, what I've learned about cellular activity and microbiology of the body, different parts of the body. And yeah, while I was on my walk, I enjoyed just putting some fresh living things that were picked right away in a local environment and eating them from as clean of a spot as possible. And just seeing what happens, like observing how do I feel? How does this taste like? How does this taste make me feel? What's happening to my body? Anything. And it's nice to just chew the food, the leaves, the flowers, whatever they are, and really let our saliva interact with it, because that is what starts delivering information to the body to give us a really most potent way to utilize the full effect of what a plant has to offer for us for our own health. So anyway, I'm feeling with the change of the season, there's definitely a call right now to detoxify. So while I'm still eating some cooked food on usually like on colder days, and even though it's a little bit, today's been warmer, but it's still a little cool, I probably shouldn't ideally be choosing like watermelon and the fresh flowers that are harvested from my garden. But overriding nature and overriding nature's cycles and overriding the natural constitution of our bodies, if there is some kind of imbalance in the body, which we might call an ailment, then that takes the most precedence. That takes a therapeutic approach to our situation that overrides what we would normally eat in the season. So right now I'm feeling a need to help the body cleanse, let go of what was been accumulated from the last season, and begin to transition into the newer, more denser diet of the winter season. That's going to come before you know it after fall. So the watermelon is really just going to give me a lot of water and basic glucose to just have basic fuel and to help clean things out a bit, because if I'm not putting in a lot of dense stuff, it gives the body a chance to naturally clear itself out. And the pigments of even the flowers, I can also feel that my body's saying, okay, less. So it's just honoring those intuitive insights that the body delivers is a good way to help us transition with whatever we're dealing with in life, really. But in particular, right now I'm referring to foods, things to phase out of that we're currently eating or we're eating throughout the summer, and just eat more of what is available now. More roots, more squashes, in general. You can just look this up. There's a lot of information available out there. Yeah, so that was just a little bit of sharing of my day. It's been, it's October just started, and I never upload these videos in a timely fashion. It's just whenever I kind of get direct the energy to go around into doing some video work. And but I hope that they deliver something meaningful for the people who watch this. So thank you, and be well.